government to increase base pay by 10% for public sector workers. Now, as a teacher for nurse, for more me bench, my buy to pay 10%. This is the letter, the joint letter summary. That's my story number 2. Or say the government of Ghana, represented by the Fair Wages Commission, Finance Ministry, blah blah blah, has agreed. Nana, Osha signatures now. Almost all the labor agencies not signing.
Sure.
Now, my party. After your marking, it's me who I am. So let me just try and do something. But now I was a bit under the other. Me frame me as a Akufo-Addo or crap. Join news. No, the data we man. I go data no. And I always say that data is like a bikini.
Sure.
Australia na who data ni. I go share they were board no so. When Akufo-Addo came in 2017, and this is the percentage change in the minimum wage. I go there. The percentage change. In 2017, Akufo-Addo did about 10%.
Okay.
I mean, what people be me who 10%. Now 2018, the percentage. Let me use this one. So the percentage 2017 was about 10-11%. 2019 9%. 2019 10%. 2020 11%. 2021 6%, 2022 8%, 2023 10%, 2024 22%, and 2025 10%. Now, what is something interesting when you look at the graph. Meaning there gotta be a science, but I can clearly see that 2022 is an outlier.
Sure. And no, at
2023 is on the cola 15%, you know. Because of cost of living.
Sure.
Now, what 2022 you can clearly see is an outlier.
Yeah. Sure.
So,
2024. Look at it. You see, the difference is too huge. And the internet basa because major. Okay.
Also, what was inflation? Set pay is largely driven by inflation.
Okay.
Forex.
Okay.
There are 3 basic denominators.
Right.
You look at cost of living variables.
Sure.
So inflation, FX, right? So you can clearly see in Akufo-Addo 8 years, the average was about 10 point something percent when you even add the 22%.
Sure.
Mahama's average for 4 years, you know, before it's about 14-15%. But 4 years, Akufo-Addo is 8 years. So the denominator for Akufo-Addo is bigger. So don't say Mahama's performed better until I add from 2009. So it's slowly, you will full soldier. It's about 14%.
Sure.
A denominator, simple mass, 4 years.
Sure.
But Akufo-Addo then 8 years, so Akufo-Addo will have a lesser value compared to Mahama because of the denominator being big. As it shows, 2024, they want more people, public servants to vote for them. That is the clear face value analysis. But beyond that, there's also inflation. Look at it. When you look from 2010, in fact, Ghana's best economy, when you look from ISE, the Institute of the Institute of Social, Statistical and Economic Research, University of Ghana, we describe it as 2011, 28, 2007-06 was Ghana's best performing economy in the Fourth Republican dispensation. Now, my catch was the best economic indicator, most of it was under Mills.
Okay.
So 2009 to 2011. In fact, he has the best inflation record to date. Prof. Mills. Now,
that was non-oil, right?
Non-oil, yes, non-oil. When you take non-oil, he's the best.
Sure.
When you add oil, he's the best.
Right.
Now, they make a second for a single digit inflation. You see, the first time I came here, then in Chelsea, John Mahama studio and I'm NDC commentator. Fact. Mekato was a Akufo-Addo recorded single digit inflation for 2 consecutive times. And this is the data. 2018-2019.
Sure.
Economy in Djibouti 2020. Because the 2018-2019, what had happened? Mahama has taken the economy to the IMF. So austerity measures was in place. It's not kind of threatened to me in your bay. So here Kenke party now will be Kenke Jigui. These are facts. Now look at it. When you pick 2018-2019, the exchange rate was the annual inflation average was about 7.81%.
Right.
And to more be an increment of an average of 10%. It makes sense.
Sure.
It caters for inflation.
Sure.
Right? By 2022, 31.26%. That is a quantum leap.
Right.
A surprise of a chrome gata. And then you will have a from and you have from then the airport.
Sure.
For a chrome, and this is a superman.
From 9 to 31.
So someone, the MPP can also argue that the 22% or 24% was not necessarily because of election, but because of inflation.
Sure.
That's why I always say that data is the whole, but how you interpret the data is subjective to you.
That's one.
It's only me and you can also do your subjective analysis.
Exactly.
But the fact is that the inflation has worsened under Akufo-Addo. That is it. So if anyone was to pay more to public sector workers, it was Akufo-Addo.
Sure.
And what is inflation? Inflation is how slow or fast the prices of items are going. And the Akokwana Muslim feels you perform for them items because inflation is what here. So because inflation is 23%. This is basically what it means. 23% this month. Now next month they got 22%. And just a nyama boy fool. Say last month Nanyama Boni increased by an average of 23%. This time it increased by 23%. So the prices of goods have slowed.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped. I got what I say.
Sure.
So that is the analysis here. So if anybody was to give more based on the last 8 years, because of how inflation has performed, it was President Akufo-Addo. Because in the last, they will call back to 2010, nobody has recorded inflation average of 38-31%. So if anyone was to give workers more, it was under the Akufo-Addo regime because the denominator the teacher will go on the table with, the negotiators, it's inflation.
Sure.
When you factor that gives us the inflation.
Sure. It's me share picture from 2012. Let's take it 2012 to a year 2016. Or share marginal change. That's about 6%.
Yeah.
And so say Obima or 10%.
Yeah.
It means a cover the inflation. You know, it will be normal.
Yeah.
And our Akufo-Addo the NSU are increasing more.
Yeah.
Which is 9 31.
Yeah.
That is, we are talking about 22.
Yeah.
What would I mention? It will be 25. It's also normal, right?
Yeah.
It can make any difference.
But it tells you that Mahama has done something here.
Okay.
Because still inflation is over 20%. When he was living in December 2016, if I remember, said inflation was 15.6%. Sure. So it means that things are still rough. But why would the public sector worker accept 10%? From a 23-24% high? Why? It tells you say
60% cry.
Yes, it tells you say probably the government has been able to convince them.
Sure, from 60% to 10%.
And then I make a say Mahama's State of the Nation address, I expect him to move from the normal.
Yeah.
He must be able to convince Ghanaians with the books. When I disagree if you and Nana say.
Right.
When you say the state of the nation, based on what I read from Article 67, the state, the state to say, but the Mapomodi won't send prem, and I cock web amount. Let the Macato say, Minian, I can't, and it's say, Minian, send you be kind. A foot will be anywhere, Jack crash over to Pekka Kramami. It's a mamma of state. But in going forward, I need to be able to adduce viable solutions to the state of Mabesum. That's why because inflation, for example, I must be able to explain that I inherited an inflation of over 20%. This and this is what I would do to bring inflation to say 10-12%. I got what must say.
Yeah.
So I agree, Mama. But I got quite your minimum wage currently 19.97%, 19.97 cedis.
And for 20 cedis.
Your inflation to BB bread. Mimito fuel total inflation to 1 liter of fuel. You see inflation minimum wage. To 1 liter of fuel. To brodo. To cocoa. It's me my breakfast and lunch.
I don't check name say month 599.
Enuni. Awaha.
Okay.
You could fear Jane the 598.95. Enu 600 cedis. Nti aban say Ghana ban. Man from Ghana ban say at least oya ba adwuma and you working of 20 days. Yen tu akaka si etu aka. Yama 600 cedis.
Yeah.
But Zoom lion for je 180. Aban we any aban aba no approve budget me etu am ka 180 cedis. You see what games ana maintain am bia sabi o.
180.
One ye careful. Obe cassette here will be. You see you have a country where the minimum wage
sure.
by the dictate of the law
should be almost 600.
At least 600 cedis. At least. Now, Obiji 180 a month. They are in arrears 4 months, 3 months. Mami Oja been debut of me 3 months, 4 months. Parliament approves the payments for them.
Sure. They know it. They know what is happening.
One national service they making. I feel say the oversight role of our parliament, we need to check it. Yeah, MP and this NPP bar. Yeah, parliamentarians serving on boards.
Sure.
Parliamentarians serving on boards of state parastatals. Akoko state agency na say hwe the book mu no parliamentarian say oversight role ma me no because me say my credo and parliament me nya kwan ko because I'm a constituent of for Ukrom no what the board so be no what a proper scrutiny amanfo bebre nyi pay we o pa busa amanfo pay omo nyi we
it's obvious
but this is the law this is the law and akoko 600 Ghana cedis in Ghana
eno credit dey week ni nyina wo dey fa ne say wo be fa ka kwa adwuma wo be didi
look at in the last 7 years Akufo-Addo by na 8.88 it will connect 18.85 now so the 10 cedi 9 cedi something e be ka then hwe Mahama dey for bo adwuma say rehemu bi enim
19.9
this is the state of our country. Your minimum wage when you 1 hour ude ni nyina adwuma we na 20 cedis
but we won't mean fa ni wache ni fish say 19.9
o wache do betimi adi so to wache 10 a no ato fish tali anka ho
fish no to de hin bi
say fish the 10 kwala ni bi black
na we be do 10 cedi o say
19 say bit say bi say men say eno do betimi ato
Eugene scan no 20 cedi
no ana make us akokwa we no betimi ato wache ni fish say amelia be hu mobo ba say wo spaghetti
wo hu wache 10 cedis no de
then ya sakura ya kura yi no ma chiche na rabem
yes we did ba akopɛ no a day
no you see obi ka say then casual then the minimum wage is the minimum wage the minimum wage has nothing to do with permanent yi ofo obi adwuma mu nko ade ya then a structured
how many contracts
then a structured contract yes so it has nothing to do with permanent or casual there's a structured payment the country is working with now akokwa ne man say you're right let me yield to him he's wrong but let me yield to him say no for purpose of argument how do you pay someone 180 cedis for 20 days of work let's not go there let's not go there. When they take Ghana cedis, let's not go there. And conform with security, what banks now don't you say away. And this is when I expect our laws. You see, Akokwa, why do you have a state? The state protect the vulnerable.
Sure.
And when we make laws, we must always ensure the laws protect the vulnerable.
And Eugene, in simple terms, no crash will be be juma a day. No now say unpiane kakra man chop money. 10 cedis a day, no, that 20 days will give you 200
Ghana cedis.
And so,
what are you talking about? Akokwa, minimum wage, what's a gesso? What's a gesso? Now, you remember as a tech, if you just so bad tech, saying, or transport, you're saying, let's not do that. Our state must protect the vulnerable.
Oh,
Akokwa, get emotional.